The truth about Napoleon's downfall. What led to the fall of one of history's greatest military leaders? Napoleon Bonaparte's downfall was a complex mix of strategic blunders, relentless opposition, and overreaching ambition. By dissecting his rise and fall, we can uncover the factors that led to the end of his illustrious career. Napoleon Bonaparte emerged from the chaos of the French Revolution as a brilliant and ambitious military leader. His early successes in campaigns across Europe showcased his tactical genius and ability to inspire his troops, quickly elevating him to a position of power. Riding the wave of his military victories, Napoleon rose to power and established the French Empire. He crowned himself emperor in 1804, centralizing authority and implementing sweeping reforms, solidifying his control over France and its territories. The Napoleonic Wars were critical in shaping his career, allowing him to expand his influence across Europe. These wars tested his strategic skills and showcased his ability to mobilize and command large armies, further entrenching his reputation as a formidable leader. One of Napoleon's boldest moves was the Continental System, an economic blockade aimed at crippling Britain. However, this strategy backfired, disrupting European economies and fomenting resentment among his allies and subjects, ultimately weakening his position. The Peninsular War significantly drained French resources, both in manpower and finances. The conflict in Spain and Portugal became a relentless quagmire, sapping the strength of Napoleon's Grande Armée. Local resistance movements, bolstered by British support, turned the Peninsular War into a protracted and costly struggle for the French Empire. Napoleon's ill-fated Russian campaign marked a critical turning point in his decline. The harsh Russian winter, combined with scorched earth tactics employed by the retreating Russian army, decimated his forces. The initial invasion's grandiose ambitions quickly transformed into a nightmare of attrition and logistical failure. The retreat from Moscow was disastrous, with freezing temperatures and constant harassment by Russian forces leading to massive casualties. Starvation and disease further compounded the misery of the retreating French troops. What began as a show of force ended in a harrowing journey of survival for the remnants of Napoleon's army. The formation of the Sixth Coalition marked a concerted effort by European powers to challenge Napoleon's dominance. Austria, Prussia, Russia, and Britain united against him, capitalizing on his weakened state post-Russian campaign. This coalition's combined military might pose an unprecedented threat to the French emperor's ambitions. The Battle of Leipzig, also known as the Battle of Nations, was a decisive confrontation that sealed Napoleon's fate. The Allied forces' overwhelming numbers and strategic coordination outmatched the French. The defeat at Leipzig resulted in significant territorial losses and marked the beginning of the end for Napoleon's empire. Internal dissent within France played a significant role in Napoleon's decline. Economic hardships, war fatigue, and growing opposition from political factions eroded his support. The French people, once enthralled by his victories, began to question his relentless pursuit of power. This internal strife weakened his grip on the nation. Napoleon's abdication and subsequent exile to Elba marked a turning point in European history. Stripped of his power and isolated on the Mediterranean island, he was forced to confront the reality of his diminished influence. However, his ambition and strategic mind were far from extinguished, setting the stage for his dramatic return. The 100 Days period saw Napoleon's unexpected comeback as he escaped from Elba and rallied support in France. His return ignited hope among his loyalists and fear among his enemies. However, this brief resurgence was fraught with challenges, as the coalition forces quickly mobilized to confront him once again. The Battle of Waterloo was a pivotal moment in Napoleon's career, sealing his fate. Despite his tactical genius, he faced insurmountable odds against the Allied forces led by the Duke of Wellington and Prussian General Blücher. The crushing defeat at Waterloo ended his reign and marked the downfall of his empire. Following the defeat at Waterloo, Napoleon faced his ultimate downfall. He abdicated for the second time and was exiled to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic. Isolated and under constant surveillance, he spent his remaining years reflecting on his rise and fall, leaving a complex legacy. Napoleon's second abdication led to his exile on the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic. Stripped of power and isolated, he lived under constant surveillance. The harsh conditions and limited social interactions marked a stark contrast to his previous life of grandeur and influence across Europe. Life on St. Helena was monotonous and grueling for Napoleon. He spent his days reflecting on his past, dictating memoirs, and engaging in limited physical activities. The island's isolation aggravated his health issues, leading to a rapid decline. Despite the hardships, he remained a figure of fascination worldwide. Napoleon's legal and administrative reforms left a lasting legacy. The Napoleonic Code, a comprehensive set of civil laws, influenced legal systems across Europe and beyond. It promoted principles such as equality before the law and property rights, shaping modern judicial frameworks and underpinning many contemporary legal practices. Napoleon's military strategies revolutionized warfare. His emphasis on rapid, decisive movements and the use of mass conscription set new standards. Future military leaders studied his tactics extensively, applying his principles in various conflicts. His innovative approaches continue to be analyzed in military academies, highlighting his enduring impact on military theory. The myth of Napoleon's leadership often overshadows reality. While celebrated as a brilliant strategist and reformer, his relentless ambition and disregard for human cost led to devastating consequences. Propaganda played a significant role in crafting his image, making it crucial to distinguish between the legend and the complex historical figure he truly was. Napoleon masterfully used propaganda to craft an image of an invincible leader. Through paintings, bulletins, and public ceremonies, he portrayed himself as a heroic figure. This manipulation of public perception bolstered his popularity and solidified his control. However, as his fortunes waned, the same propaganda could not mask his failures and ultimate decline. Napoleon's boundless ambition was both his greatest strength and his fatal flaw. His relentless pursuit of power led to overextension and strategic blunders. Conquering vast territories strained resources and alienated allies. His unyielding desire for dominance ultimately sowed the seeds of his own downfall as Europe united against him. The economic strains of Napoleon's extensive military campaigns placed immense pressure on France. Funding wars across multiple fronts drained the national treasury. Heavy taxation and conscription led to widespread discontent among the populace. These financial burdens weakened his regime, contributing to the internal unrest that hastened his fall from power. Napoleon's policies reshaped European geopolitics, redrawing national borders and spreading revolutionary ideals. The Napoleonic Code influenced legal systems across the continent. However, his aggressive expansionism provoked resistance and fostered a coalition of enemies. The geopolitical aftermath of his reign set the stage for future conflicts and the eventual restoration of monarchies. Key figures played pivotal roles in Napoleon's fall. Leaders like Tsar Alexander Primier of Russia and the Duke of Wellington orchestrated decisive military defeats. Former allies turned adversaries, contributing to his isolation. These influential personalities, through diplomacy and warfare, were instrumental in dismantling Napoleon's empire and ending his dominance. The Congress of Vienna played a crucial role in shaping post-Napoleonic Europe. By redrawing borders and establishing a balance of power, it aimed to prevent future large-scale conflicts. This diplomatic gathering restored monarchies and sought to stabilize the continent, significantly impacting European geopolitics for decades. The restoration of the Bourbon monarchy marked a significant shift in France's political landscape. After Napoleon's exile, Louis XVIII ascended the throne, symbolizing a return to pre-revolutionary governance. This transition aimed to restore stability and reconcile a nation divided by years of revolutionary and Napoleonic turmoil. During his reign, public perception of Napoleon varied greatly. Initially hailed as a hero who brought order, his relentless military campaigns and heavy taxation eventually led to widespread discontent. After his fall, opinions remained divided, with some seeing him as a tyrant and others as a visionary leader. British opposition was a persistent thorn in Napoleon's side. Through decisive naval battles and strategic alliances, Britain consistently thwarted his ambitions. Their financial and military support to coalitions against him played a significant role in his ultimate defeat and the reshaping of European order. Espionage and intelligence were critical in Napoleon's downfall. Both sides engaged in extensive spy networks, gathering crucial information that influenced military strategies. British and Allied espionage efforts often outmaneuvered Napoleon's, leading to significant tactical setbacks and ultimately contributing to his defeat and exile. Napoleon's personality traits, including his ambition and relentless pursuit of power, played a significant role in his downfall. His inability to delegate and his overconfidence often led to strategic blunders. He was known for pushing his troops to their limits, which, while effective initially, ultimately led to exhaustion and discontent. The Napoleonic Code, while revolutionary, had unintended consequences that contributed to his decline. By centralizing power and standardizing laws, Napoleon inadvertently stifled local governance and alienated various factions. Although the code modernized legal systems, it also created a rigid structure that couldn't adapt to rapidly changing political landscapes. Napoleon's era inspired a surge in cultural and artistic expression, with many works glorifying his achievements. From paintings to literature, the Napoleonic era left a lasting impact on European culture. However, this romanticized portrayal often overshadowed the harsh realities of his rule and the suffering it caused. The Bonaparte family played crucial roles in Napoleon's ascent and eventual fall. He placed his siblings in positions of power across Europe, creating a network of influence. However, their incompetence and infighting often undermined his authority, contributing to the instability that hastened his downfall. International perception of Napoleon's exile was mixed, with some viewing it as a necessary measure to restore peace and others as an act of injustice. While many European leaders saw his exile as a triumph, there was also sympathy for the fallen emperor, who had once been a symbol of revolutionary ideals. Historians continue to debate Napoleon's legacy, with opinions ranging from reverence to condemnation. Some view him as a visionary leader who modernized Europe, while others see a tyrant driven by unquenchable ambition. His reforms in law and administration are praised, yet his relentless military campaigns caused widespread suffering and instability. Napoleon's strategic mistakes, such as the ill-fated Russian campaign, offer valuable lessons in overreach and the limitations of even the most formidable empires. His reliance on rapid, aggressive tactics worked initially, but ultimately led to his downfall. Modern military leaders study his errors to avoid repeating them in contemporary conflicts. Napoleon's fall had profound global implications, reshaping European borders and influencing international politics. The power vacuum left by his defeat led to the Congress of Vienna, which sought to restore balance. His legacy affected colonial ambitions, trade routes, and diplomatic alliances, echoing far beyond the European continent. Summarizing the key factors in Napoleon's downfall involves examining his overambitious military campaigns, strained resources, and the resilient coalition of enemies he faced. Internal dissent and economic woes compounded his challenges. Despite his brilliance, these elements combined to topple one of history's most formidable leaders, leaving a complex legacy. If you found this analysis fascinating, subscribe and comment on what historical figure you want to learn about next. Dive into the intricate lives of history's most intriguing personalities and uncover the lessons they offer for today's world. Your engagement helps us bring more captivating stories to light.